Alright y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Hunter with Van Houten Builds, and I got some exciting news. So while we were waiting on the 65 Mustang engine to get back from the machine shop, I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on another project. So let's go see what we got, because it's pretty exciting and pretty awesome. It's here! It's like Christmas.
Where are we gonna put it?
Christmas in July. Right here.
Okay.
For now. Until I can get up the hill. The downside to living on it. She's excited too. This here is my 1968 Ford Mustang convertible that we just got today, and it was just delivered literally this morning. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting project, y'all. It'll be a fun one. It needs a lot of work though, a ton of work. All right, so check this out, y'all. I found this up in Sacramento, California, like a week ago, and ended up having it delivered. It was too good of a deal to pass up. Like, pretty rare option actually of a 68. The crazy thing about this is this has not been on the road since 1982. It was literally pulled from a tow yard by a guy named Brad, who owns a restoration business up in Sacramento. And he worked with me to get this deal done. Super awesome guy, so nice. We did a long distance deal and it was seamless. But yeah, he bought it from the tow company, like a salvage yard or something, and was gonna use it as a project, but he has too many restorations going on, and so he wanted to pass this along all complete together so that we could restore it, and that's what we're gonna do. So it's gonna take a while because it needs everything. Here we go, we got the 289 here. Nice little power plant, original engine, and it runs actually, but you can see the battery exploded in here like long ago and just created a mess. So gonna need to replace that. Also, this was welded up at one point, probably also need to replace this, front radiator support. It came with a lot of cool options though, like a ton, that were really cool. Yeah, let's walk around and check out what we got. Well, it didn't come with these crazy 70s Lincoln Mark V wheels, but they actually look kind of cool. But they're 15-inch wheels that are on there, and it works. It obviously has a lot of damage, panel damage, some rust down here, but overall still in pretty good shape. You know, it took a hit there. It's just gonna need like body work. Here's the inside. The interior is basically, it does need some floor pan replacement, but not too bad. Not anything crazy. I mean, about the same as my last one did. But the cool thing about this one is the options that it came with. So this is actually like a 1 of 80, which is really, really cool. So check it. It has the tack in the dash, which is awesome. And then, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but this is on, it was 1 of 80 ever built in 68 with a speed control. This right here is cruise control in 1968. So it came from the factory with so many different options. It had like probably 15 options. It's also got a limited slip differential. So it's like a 3.0 differential as well. It came with an extra cooling package. So it does have the wider, larger, I think it's a 3-core radiator. Maybe it's 4-core. I don't know. I think it's 3-core back in 68. Basically been untouched. You know, everything on this, you know, it was for an actual Ford employee back in the day. You know, it was like a company lease program. And so, yeah, there's like crazy options on it. So like the interior also had some pretty cool options. It was like like an upgraded package interior as well. Obviously that didn't last because it looks like shit, but it was pretty cool. And then, you know, I have all the top hardware too. Then it came with upgraded wheels, which we don't have, unfortunately. It does have the hubcaps for the wheels, which is good, and then a few extra parts down below. So yeah, it was originally this maroon paint, but it did have white stripes, and then it did have a black out striped hood, but that's obviously no longer there. Someone painted over that. But yeah, it's gonna need a full restoration, and I got to figure out how to get it up the driveway. So I got to get it running, and then I need brakes. I did fill up the master cylinder because it was completely dry, and it just like drank up all the fluid, and I was like, what's going on? Came to realize that all my fluid is leaking, and it's leaking because the brake line is dangling. So what I did is I went to O'Reilly's. I got a new brake line just for this side. So hopefully we can hold some fluid. So I'm gonna start by taking the wheel off over here. Then we can kind of see what we're working on. Yeah, it's got 3 lug nuts on each wheel. So super, super safe. But yeah, you can tell, check this out, where the battery exploded. And I guess it was just like a long time ago the battery exploded and it just sat. So yeah, we're gonna need a new hood. Nothing new there. I mean, it was a Northern California car for the most part, so it did get more moisture up there, unfortunately. So let's dive into it. These are crazy wheels, by the way. Like 1970s Lincoln Mark V wheels. Like, they're super cool, but such an interesting choice for, you know, a 60s Mustang. Like, I like the vibe of them though. I don't know if we're gonna stick with them. Jeez, those tires are bad. Look at that, guys. Ooh. Now we want to pop this piece off. I don't know if you guys can see this here. Underneath here is the brake line. Right there. The placement's terrible, unfortunately, because it's right underneath the spring. So we want to get under there and get this brake line broke loose here. It is like rusted solid in here though, unfortunately. May have to heat it up too. Just get in there and do your work. Yeah. There's also a little tab that kind of sits in there, but I don't know how we're gonna get that off. Well, just kidding, I got it. Got the tab. So that's a little tab that holds the brake line right there. All right, y'all, so when you can't get a like bolt or nut free, throw some heat on it. Got a torch. Also important to have fire safety because probably not the best idea. Brake fluid is super flammable, but you know what? I don't know how else we're gonna do it. So put a little heat on it here. It smells so bad. Good thing there's a wind. Why work harder when you can work smarter, right? Wrong way. There we go. Yes. We can pull the brake line out to work on it. fantastic. Okay, much better. Look at that, gross. Jeez Louise, I don't even know how to get. Yeah, that's bad. Oh, I got it, guys. We got it. Woo, nice. Okay, so look at that mess. I mean, hot, very hot. Yeah, that's bad. That is just gross. It's steaming. Now we gotta go throw a new brake line on this bad boy. Got a new brake line. Good times. Brake best. Brake best. All right, let's put this new sucker on here. So this piece right here is basically rusted to the line, so I can't turn it or spin it, and I need to be able to spin this side in order to get this in. Not good, guys, not good. I thought I had it there. Let's see. Thanks for bringing this over, man. This helps.
Oh, man, I know
this is
what
great.
you do. So I'm just trying to.
Okay, there we go. Junky little line there. Do you mind hitting the pedal real quick?
Of course.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, pump it.
Oh, good?
Yeah, right in the face. No, it's okay.
Whatever. You popped the line?
No.
Now it's open, right? You good?
Yeah, right. I'm gonna wash my eyes out. It was the brake fluid. No. It popped because it was whatever was in there. It got unclogged. So. All right, y'all, so we were able to get passenger side brake bled, and that one stops for the most part, kind of. So that's good. So at least we have one brake when we drive up the hill to my driveway. So the other one will not bleed. The line is clogged. I'm gonna need all new lines. I've got the new master cylinder. Just don't want to build lines out on the street. I want to get it up and close to the shop, so I don't have to just keep coming down the hill, and it's just a pain. So yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. And then I'm gonna start it up, and we're gonna try and drive it up the driveway and pray and hope and wish and all the good things that we make it up there and to the shop. All right, so I'm gonna try and start it, but what we gotta do is I hook this fuel line up under here to the original fuel pump and disconnected this line, which comes from the actual tank, because we don't want to pull whatever's in the tank. We have no idea how gross it is back there, so I don't want to pull from that. So I've got a gas can down here, and we're just gonna tap that in underneath, and then I'm also gonna disconnect this. Even though it seems fresh, I'm gonna disconnect this and put another line filter in the way, just to make sure we're not sucking anything down in the engine that might be in this fuel line, like rust and deposits and whatnot. So we're just gonna take this line off here, trim it down a little. I don't know how this fuel filter is right in here either, but we're just gonna roll with it for now. Start kind of fresh here. Oh man, that is on there. Gross. All right, this was a line that was on the bottom. Looks like it was almost used, but not used. So I'm gonna put this on here like that. I'm gonna put the fuel filter in the line right here. This is just 3/8 inch hose that I'm using. Then you got to look at which way it says. So we're gonna go 2 carb. Put this in, just twist it like so. There we go. Gonna put a little gas in the carb before we go. At least while it's pumping. I hope the fuel pump works. I guess we'll see. All right, we ready? See if it's free. Nope. here goes nothing. I jumped the starter solenoid to the ignition coil because there was nothing there. So here we go. Nothing. And nothing. What? What is going on? What? I do see spark. Okay, I got this one wire alternator that I'm putting on. I basically got it with some other parts and just got the guy to throw it in. So I'm gonna use that, put that on. I'm also gonna put, well, let's see, before I get started, I'm gonna put this belt on and then I'll put the other one on. All right, y'all, so check this out. After almost blowing up the car a second ago, I hooked up a one-wire alternator, and I'll show you. I hooked up this one-wire alternator that I got, and I hooked it up to the positive side of the battery. Apparently, I guess that's wrong because, or it's not grounded or something, I don't know. No idea what I'm doing, but I just thought there's not really any good videos on it online, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I hooked it up, and then as soon as I put the battery on, the alternator just started smoking and the battery started sparking, so I immediately pulled the negative off the terminal. I pulled the negative wire off and unhooked the alternator. Not cool. That started smoking. Hopefully it's okay still. It's a really nice one-wire alternator. But anyways, I tried hooking everything up again, and I realized I was hooking up the ignition coil positive to the positive end of the battery, and it was getting hot. I need to hook it up to the ignition, and then I just tried jumping it, and here we go. Very good news. So we are getting it, which is awesome. So what I'm gonna do is see if I can just get it running for a minute at least. And I'm gonna see if the fuel pump will actually work. So I'm putting a canister of fuel down here, see if I can get it pumping. I don't know if it will actually. I don't think our fuel pump's working, so that's not good. Okay, good times. So what we may have to do then is feed it a little bit of fuel. Let's put some fuel down in here. See if we can, Jesus, that's not good. Woo, got it. Got it to start up, so that's good. Whew. Whoop. Jeez Louise. Okay, well, we know it turns over then a little bit, but we're still not getting fuel, so that's not good. I wonder if it's this fuel filter that's clogged. I don't even know if we're getting fuel up in the pump though. I don't think so. It wouldn't be clogged because then it would be filled right here, so I think the fuel pump must be clogged. That sucks. Let's see if we can get it started again. Nice. Well, I call that somewhat a success. Minus fuel pump being not good. So, yeah. But what I want to do next is actually check the compression on this guy. Good times. All right. This is good. Good news. Good news. All right, y'all, so we did it. We finally got it started, got it running, sort of, for a second. So that's really, really good news. I ended up replacing, I think my camera died, but I replaced these belts down here just with some old belts that I had. Kind of cleaned this up a little bit. Put a one-wire alternator in, which I've got to figure out how to do this because I hooked the one wire up to the battery positive here on the solenoid, and it started smoking like crazy. So I think I need like a ground or something on it, I would assume. So it's technically not just one wire, but I'm assuming that this little tab right here that I don't know if you can see or not, but this would be where I would hook up a ground maybe to the engine block or, you know, a panel or something. I'm gonna have to kind of do some research on that because I couldn't find anything about one wire alternators where people showed exactly how they hooked it up. So stay tuned because I'm going to show you that. But yeah, we're also not getting any fuel into here, so I'm assuming the fuel pump is bad down here. So we're going to have to replace the fuel pump in order to get fuel up. Now that it's turning over, I can check the compression, and I want to check all the cylinders to make sure we're all good before we actually, you know, really do too much to this, because that's something I learned from the last engine I worked on is I didn't check my compression first, and that was a mistake because then I ended up having to do it last after the car was completely finished. So don't do that. Learn from my mistakes. I'm doing mechanical first, engine first, getting everything together that way, then doing body work, and then I'll probably do like the interior last. I'm gonna go through and I'm labeling all of the spark plug wires, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so that way I know where to hook them back when we, you know, put them back in place. But I want to pull all the plugs, and I know these are newer wires, which is good, and they're new plugs, but I'm gonna pull them and check the compression on everything. So that's kind of where we are now, because I don't want to make the same mistake I did last time by going through, cleaning up everything, cleaning the engine up, repainting everything, and then check the compression last, realizing it was no good. So yeah, we're gonna do that first. I know a lot of people would be like, well, just run it the way it is, but not gonna get very far if the engine is not performing at its best. So pretty rusty and grimy in here, but hey, whatever. I just took off all the spark plug wires, and now we're just going to pop out the spark plugs themselves. There's this weird like situation down here though that I'm not a fan of. It's like a exhaust thing. I don't even know, man. What is this? Let's see if I can get this out of here without cutting my hand out. What the I don't know what that is. I think that's like an exhaust shield. That is super weird and old. So yeah, we're just gonna put that to the side for now, because why? Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, y'all. Jesus. What the hell? Oh my God. Why are these on so tight? Well, that's not good. All right, we need more torque. So I just got a longer wrench. Okay, there it goes. All right. What is that? Guys, I just found a pencil. It's a red pencil. Okay, that's exciting. Weird things you find in cars. It's not the weirdest thing, but weird that it was in the engine compartment. cylinder 6 now. About 148. Okay, so check it. This is the issue right in here. You can see, yikes. So this is completely off the spring right here. So we need to get that off and make some adjustments. Jeez, to the valve. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now we're back on top. Except, oh, we're compressed, so that's their problem. So we need to hit it, try and wake the spring back up. Weird angle, I know. All right. There it goes. It's waking up. All right. Woohoo! All right, guys. We woke it up a little bit. What I ended up doing is cleaning everything out. I also cleaned this up a bit too. So I grabbed some new gaskets here. I got these rubber gaskets, which I'm gonna put in the valve cover. And one thing I noticed though, is that when I was turning the engine over, so you can see all my springs are working. Everything's working except the rods there aren't spinning, and they're supposed to spin as the lifter spins, which means possibly the lifter's not spinning. So we may have to wake those lifters up. I'm gonna try and get this thing running. They are, you know, pumping up and down. They're just not spinning. So yeah, that's kind of where we are right now with that. But yeah, I'm gonna get this in place, and that way I can test the compression on the final piston. And I just got the Felpro rubber gasket. That works just fine. It's like a super cheap option and works all right. Okay, and remember we're gonna do an 8 count here to see what we got on the last one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's not great. So 92 on that. We got like 92. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we're getting up to 95 of compression. That's not amazing. So yikes. Okay, but I do know that this cylinder has been asleep for a while because I had to hit the valves back in. So which probably just means that the valve was stuck open. My hope was that when we start it back up, things kick up again, but no idea if that's going to happen. Yeah. All right, y'all. So we did that side, and I was basically only getting like 95 PSI on the last cylinder, on cylinder 8. So my compression was a little low, which sucks compared to the rest of the block. You know, I had to hammer that one valve because it was stuck. So I think it was like stuck open. That could mean there's, you know, some rust in there, some other deposits, who knows, like inside the cylinder, which is, you know, really kind of hurting. We're basically gonna take this valve cover off and make sure there's just nothing gunky happening under there. I mean, it looks so gross and rough. I mean, I feel like I just need to pressure wash it. It's bad. All right, y'all. So what we got to do now is replace the fuel pump here because the fuel pump is bad. It's not giving me fuel into the carb. So I went out and got this new fuel pump. It doesn't really look like the one in the picture, but yeah, got this new fuel pump. It's this guy right here, and we're just gonna drop this sucker in, and hopefully we'll be good to go. And I have some gaskets that came with it here 2 actually, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, we're gonna drop that in and do our thing. Sweet. But first we gotta take out the old fuel pump. Got it, guys. Woo. All right, so we're out. Yikes, that was harder than it looked to get out because of the power steering pump. So, boy, you can see where it's like worn down too, like right in here, where the cam, it's basically worn that down. So, all right, let's clean this up. And we're gonna reuse the fuel line probably too. We're just gonna clean it because it is a hard line. So after pulling off the bypass hose here, I noticed that the water port is really, really bad and rotted out and clogged. So we're gonna have to take that off. I don't know if you remember it from last time with my other Mustang, but the only way I could get that thing off was to cut it out, and it was a pain in the ass. All right. All right, so this is what I had to do last time. I basically just took a Dremel tool and cut that off so I could get a socket around it to break it free. So we're gonna try it because I want to try and keep this 2-barrel setup I have and not have to pull the whole thing out. So good times, let's try. This is so grody. Wow. Bad shape. All right. Jeez, look at that. Whew. Time for a new water pump. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see what we got. Okay. So there's the timing cover. And ooh, there's our water ports. Gross. And there's that broken bolt right down in here. All right, so this is pretty interesting right here, y'all. This is the old 3-core radiator. It's a 24-inch because it had the extra cooling package on in here. I tried to get a plug for it and could not find one. And I think that's because the threaded insert here or something has been like dented in and like kind of just removed. It looks kind of funky. Super funky. It's really weird how this radiator actually sits in because it's 24-inch. So it's pretty gross, pretty grody in here. So I am gonna get a new radiator, new 24-inch. Not gonna worry about keeping this one. It's just not in great shape. Check out how it sits. So being that this radiator support area right here is a little bit larger and it doesn't clip in or I guess mount in necessarily like this way through the tabs like the more normal ones, it sits on this like mount thing down here, which is really interesting. And then it clips in at the top right here. It's pretty cool. Now we can start cleaning things up. I got a new water pump as well. So we're just gonna clean all that up. I may put some like some rust removal stuff into the intake here through the water passages and let it kind of fill up inside and then see what that does. Hopefully it'll, you know, help clean things out. But for right now, yeah, it's pretty grody in here. All right, y'all, so I was just kind of going through here, cleaning all this mess out. I found this old radiator cap. Yeah, good times. So guessing that went with that guy. At some point it got lost. So I was looking through here and it was pretty interesting. So this is actually the piece that holds the radiator. It's like the support from the bottom. It's in pretty rough shape, but I think it's salvageable. But I've got to mount it back to here. So I can see it, like, it looks like it screws in, but I'll probably just weld that in. But I'm gonna have to clean all this up. This is in bad shape. I may have to actually come through and reinforce the support here. It's still pretty solid, but just like right in here, it's really taken a hit where the radiator hose was. I guess there was a leak at one point, you can see. I don't know, back in the day. Maybe also from that battery exploding and then whatever was down there sitting. I was looking too at the wiring harness that's here, and this is actually goes to the horn right here. Like that. All in all, the wiring harness isn't too bad. It is bad though when it gets right here, unfortunately. That's where it got eaten away, and you can see where it goes to the light. Yeah, so I'm gonna need just the harness that goes to the light, like the extra piece. It just, they snap in right here. So I'll have to order that. At least most of the harness is still good though, inside the engine bay, so that's good. I need to clean up this area here and then probably put some rust remover stuff in here. I'm gonna try and keep this if I can. We'll see, but I just gotta clean it all up. It's pretty gross. So yeah, continuing on. It is pretty gross, a lot of rust. Everybody make sure before you do a car restoration project, go get your tetanus shot, because I've cut myself more than I can count. And so it's important to do that on a rusty car. All right, y'all. So I think that's where I'm gonna call it with this video, because I'm waiting on a ton of parts to come in, and yeah, we're just kind of cleaning things up, waiting as we go. But yeah, we've got a lot coming in. Got a new water pump. Also gonna be cleaning all this up, radiator, battery area, apron situation. I think I'm gonna approach all the metal work after I get everything installed, get it up and running, going. Then we'll kind of disassemble a little bit more. I do have a rebuilt carb for this, but I'm probably gonna clean everything up, repaint it, etc. Kind of like I did with the last build, and go from there. Because everything's in good shape, everything's running, all that good stuff. So anyways, if you haven't already, give me a like on this video and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. Check out the new build series, because we're gonna keep it going. We got a lot of work to do here, so stay tuned for more videos coming. Got a lot of stuff on the way. And also got the 65.2 engine is almost done. I talked to the machine shop, went over there the other day. The engine's almost done on that. And then we're gonna drop the engine in the 65. Also the C4 over here, this one needs a rebuild, but we're gonna put this one in to get that one on the road. Gotta weld up the exhaust, but all in all, that one's ready to go pending the engine. Stay with me on this, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna be doing a lot of metal work to this, but also performance, etc. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one. All right, see ya.